Parents up in arms at a town hall. The teacher said the N-word in front of his physics class.
Two students were saying that they were saying it back and forth to each other, two black students. And he was just like, oh, you can't say that, saying the word. And then one of the students goes, oh, wait, what did you say? Pulls out the phone. And he goes again, 2 more times. You can't say that.
Now, this story comes out of Atlanta, Georgia. A teacher was suspended for using the N-word on video. But the context of this story matters. Here was a student who was in the classroom at the time explaining exactly what happened when the teacher used the N-word.
Two students were saying that they were saying it back and forth to each other, two black students. And he was just like, oh, you can't say that, saying the word. And then one of the students goes, oh, wait, what did you say? Pulls out the phone. And he goes again, 2 more times. You can't say that.
So what seems to be the issue? Well, here are the students and parents explaining why they're so upset that the teacher told these students to stop using this racial slur.
Some people who use it, who are, reapplying it, it has a negative history, but they're using it in a positive light to build their community. I understand many people have their own relationship with this word. My thing is, this is not a white people thing.
But they didn't think they would have to teach this to their teacher.
He's a grown man. He knows what he said was wrong. He's educated enough to know what he said was wrong.
The students say there needs to be a policy in place to ensure teachers like Mr. Chestnut are held accountable. Students say the principal apologized to the school on behalf of Mr. Chestnut, sent a letter to parents saying discrimination won't be tolerated, but they say Mr. Chestnut justified his actions instead of apologizing.
Now, it seems like both the students and parents are making it very clear. The reason why this teacher has this issue is not because of what he actually said. The fact that he said the N-word doesn't seem like it's the reason why everybody's up in arms. It's the fact that he's white. Listen to this part again.
My thing is, this is not a white people thing.
So just so we're totally clear, if this teacher was black, we wouldn't have an issue because, as she said, this is not a white people thing. And I think this is the most disgusting part of this news piece because this is essentially saying it's okay to discriminate. If it's wrong to say the N-word or any racial slur in a classroom, it shouldn't matter the race of the person saying it. Anyone who says racial slurs in a classroom should be punished, teachers or students. But we have this mentality that we look at the race of the person saying the racial slur to give it credence. And I think this is the problem. So just to be clear, because the teacher who was white told students who were saying the N-word to stop saying the N-word and actually said the word when he was telling them, stop saying that word, stop using that word. They then disciplined the teacher. Here's what happened.
It hasn't really been handled as it should have. As soon as the action happened, he wasn't disciplined, he wasn't punished.
Decatur High School students say they are not done protesting.
No justice, no peace.
Hundreds of students held a walkout last week after their physics teacher, Mr. Chestnut, was suspended from class for 1 day without pay after he said the N-word 3 times in front of students.
The part about this story is that the students who were saying the N-word, where the teacher had to stop them from saying it, weren't punished at all. This is all about the teacher. And I'm just going to say it. If we have this mentality where we're trying to stop discriminating based on race, this is textbook discrimination based on race. If it's a black teacher, they can say the N-word. If it's a black student, they can say the N-word. But if it's a white teacher telling a black student not to use the N-word in their classroom, they get suspended. Now, here's what the teacher said about the incident.
But they say Mr. Chestnut justified his actions instead of apologizing.
And I got the opportunity to think about how and why that got past the filter, right? It's easy for me to wonder that growing up in this country at the time I did, starting in the past, that I have absorbed some racist nonsense that is still bumping around in my brain.
So at the end of the day, this teacher who told his students to stop using racial slurs in the classroom, he's suspended for a day. The students who were using it all over the place, remember?
Two students were saying that they were saying it back and forth to each other, two black students. And he was just like, oh, you can't say that, saying the word. And then one of the students goes, oh, wait, what did you say?
So in this school, it seems to be okay for students in the classroom to use racial slurs whenever they want. And if the teacher tells them to stop using a racial slur and the students get smart and say, what racial slur? The one that you're saying here, the N-word, for instance, the teacher gets suspended.
My thing is, this is not a white people thing.
Now, it's interesting to note because I think you may have missed it. She is justifying the two students using the N-word in the classroom because they are black. Listen again, just listen again real quick.
Two students were saying that they were saying it back and forth to each other, two black students.
My question to you is, should the students also be suspended? Or are you okay with black students using racial slurs in the classroom? And if told by a white teacher not to use those racial slurs, the white teacher could possibly get in trouble. What do you think about this race-based speech policy the school seems to have? If it was a black teacher, do you think that black teacher would have also been suspended?
My thing is, this is not a white people thing.
The black students weren't. What happens if they were white students? Do you think the white students would have been in trouble for using a racial slur?
My thing is, this is not a white people thing.
Let me know in the comments section, because I think this story is very troubling because it teaches students to look at the person's race before looking at the context of what they're saying. If people are using offensive speech in a school environment, that should be wrong no matter what the person looks like. But they call me a radical right-wing lunatic sometimes. Let me know in the comment section if you agree. Let me know if you think I'm insane. With that said, my name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'm out of here. Peace.